Concerning media viewers, what's going on? It's me, John D. Villarreal, the four-time national champion, Paul F. Villarreal, joining by phone. Paul, we just watched the New York Knicks totally destroy the Orlando Magic, dude. There was zero magic going on, in my personal opinion, for Orlando and all that type of stuff. I mean, particularly with that second half. The second half, it all came on. Now, Jeremy Lin still has that injured knee. He was suited up, but he sat out of the game. Tell me what went on here. I mean, Carmelo Anthony looked tremendous. This New York Knicks team, to me, absolutely looks like a playoff team now. They are rolling. This puts them in very good position, I believe, to make the playoffs. What happened in this game tonight?
Well, what happened is that the Knicks made the Magic disappear in the second and third quarters. That's what basically happened. They just absolutely destroyed them. They outscored them in those two quarters by a combined total 35 points. What? This game was a joke. Late in the, I believe, late in the third period, New York was up by 39 points. It was just one of those nights where, even though Amari was out and Lin was out, the Knicks, they got good contributions from the rookie, Iman Shumpert. Carmelo led the team. He played despite having the groin injury. You saw him on the sidelines there riding the bike to keep it warm. They caught fire in the second quarter, and the crowd helped them out a lot. And we've talked about this recently.
Stars in the crowd, dude.
Some of these teams are just getting worn down in this compressed season as we're winding down. Orlando just looked flat tonight. They couldn't make their three-pointers, which is a big part of their game, and it just got away from them, and the Knicks, to their credit, just poured it on. J.R. Smith, Steve Novak came off the bench. Those guys were drilling threes, and they got it done. Big credit to the Knicks. And for the Lin fans, look, this is the best of both worlds because the team didn't need Jeremy tonight. They still were able to get the win, and Jeremy Lin gets to rest, and now he'll have even more of a chance to rest if the team feels like he needs it because they're solidifying their position in the 8th playoff seed and moving forward versus Milwaukee. So that's great. This is the perfect scenario for the team and for Lin.
I think it's a great scenario. That's right. Jeremy Lin fans all around the world, just relax. Everything's cool. We want, first of all of our personal opinion only. We're not alleging facts, not casting any aspersions. All for entertainment purposes only. Please check the disclaimers. Here's the deal. We, as you know, in our personal opinion, have strived to be the #1 fan channel and information channel for Jeremy Lin on YouTube. And we've done a whole lot of videos, including this one. And so, you know, we've been on this. So, in our personal opinion, you're not going to find bigger Jeremy Lin fans on YouTube than us. Okay. But, at the same time, we're sitting here and we're saying, listen, we want Jeremy to rest. We want to make sure he's okay. Because Jeremy Lin plays a very physical, active style, you know, controlling the offense, slashing to the basket, you know, sitting back there doing the threes, doing all kinds of stuff. We want to make sure that Jeremy Lin is healthy and he's cool and ready to go for this final playoff run and definitely into the playoffs. You don't want to, you know, play too much and keep sort of playing through it, and then, you know, you've got a chronic tendonitis situation or you aggravate that knee anymore, in our personal opinion. So to be able to sit down there and just chill and relax and have the team step up. Now, if you're another team and you're looking at the situation, all of a sudden you got to be worried about New York. It's not just Jeremy Lin. It's not just Carmelo. And so to win the way they won tonight in this kind of unbelievable, convincing fashion without Amari, without Jeremy Lin, Paul, I think that this sends a message to the rest of the league, particularly in the East, that New York is for real as a playoff team.
New York definitely is for real, and it is sending a message because what you're seeing now is the full spirit that the team had in the Linsanity 1.0 run is being realized in the Linsanity 2.0 run, which coincides with the hiring of Mike Woodson.
Right.
I think that the team is now 7-1, I believe, or 7-1 under Mike Woodson, Linsanity 2.0. And they're just, you know, they're feeling good. They're feeling like they, even with some guys missing time, like Jeremy Lin, like Amari, they're feeling like they can keep winning. And it's great to see. I mean, they are hitting their stride.
They are definitely hitting their stride, no question about it. My question is this. You know, what about Dwight Howard? I mean, how punked out is Dwight Howard? Just did that whole thing, staying in Orlando at least for now, and all that type of thing. And do you feel like this was an embarrassment for Dwight Howard? Do you feel like he's feeling a little bit punked out, or was this just a bad game? I mean, you kind of saw some of the body language, in my personal opinion, towards the end of the game. What do you think Dwight Howard has to be thinking after a game like this?
Well, let me just say this first. Actually, the Knicks are 8-1 in Linsanity 2.0 / Mike Woodson era. So I think Dwight Howard, I noticed what you did, him looking kind of just, you know, clueless or just like, what am I doing here? And there near the end of the game on the bench. I think that Dwight Howard, I'm sure he still believes, and he needs to believe that Orlando can make a run at the title this year, but games like this make it a lot harder to believe that. And that seemed like that may have been something similar to what he was feeling tonight. But as I said before, the Magic they just didn't have it tonight. And you're going to see more of these kinds of games in the next couple weeks, in my opinion, because just certain teams are just going to run out of gas, and you're going to get some of this. But I've felt that, or it's been said, that Dwight Howard, you know, maybe he stays there next year, but then he's out the year after. So I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure what Dwight Howard was thinking tonight, but he didn't look particularly happy, and he just looked almost kind of like resigned to the fact that, you know, Orlando might not be doing that much.
Now, what about Carmelo Anthony playing through, you know, his injury and his little tweak there with the groin injury? You know, how do you think that's going down? He was riding the bike, as you talked about, you know, during the game, trying to keep it loose, trying to keep it warm. Do you think he's okay? I mean, he's showing some toughness here. I think he's showing some leadership for the team. What's the situation here for Carmelo?
Well, we're going to have to see how Carmelo feels after the game. But people were concerned after last game. It certainly seemed, and in fact, Carmelo did re-aggravate that injury that kept him out during Linsanity 1.0. And so it was like, oh, man, you know, Lin's out, Mari's out, maybe Carmelo's out. But I think Carmelo showed a lot of heart, a lot of commitment to play tonight. He did what he needed to do with riding the bike, and he was able to manage it tonight. It has been reported that it's not as severe as it was earlier, so hopefully he can just kind of play with it while it continues to heal. But he definitely showed real leadership tonight. They needed him, and he performed and came through tonight. And I think that the whole team and the crowd fed off of that, and it's like it's the rift that was going on before with Carmelo and Coach D'Antoni, and the crowd wasn't so sure. It's like, you know, this kind of win and this kind of performance by Carmelo, it's like it's helping to kind of bring everybody back together, and so it's great. It's great. It's working out well. I
think it's good. I think it shows, you know, Carmelo is committed to winning and committed to this team and showing some toughness and showing some leadership. And I think that's going to be great for the team. There's no doubt about it. What about Jeremy Lin? Like, what's the word on when Jeremy might be back? What's the word? Do we have any information on the status right now of Jeremy's injury? What's going on with Jeremy Lin?
Well, what I've read about Jeremy Lin is that the training staff of the New York Knicks, as well as Jeremy Lin himself, have decided that they're not going to bring him back until he is 100%.
Okay.
So what's great with a victory like this is it gives them more time.
Gives it time.
The Knicks aren't falling behind. They're solidifying their hold on the 8th spot. So it buys Jeremy Lin and the training staff more time for them to treat Jeremy's knee. Jeremy Lin to just rest that knee. Hopefully, he will be okay to come back soon, but he won't have to rush it, and there'll be less of a chance of re-aggravating it down the line. I mean, Jeremy Lin is such a key asset to the New York Knicks organization and to the NBA right now that I think it's a smart decision. You know, make sure this guy's young, make sure he doesn't get anything chronic right now, and it's a lot easier to do that when you're winning games like tonight, and that's great. I'm happy for the team. I'm happy for Iman Shumpert, the guard,
he did great.
Started at shooting guard tonight. One of the guys getting more playing time because Jeremy Lin sat, and he had a huge game. He had 25 points, performed great. So it's giving guys a chance to step up, and they're doing it, and that means everybody wins, including Jeremy Lin, who gets to heal up.
I agree. I think that's a big win for everybody. I think everybody is stepping up, and this team's really coming together, in my personal opinion. And you see it with the fans. And there was, I believe, some stars out there tonight in the stands. I think, didn't they show Jeremy Piven and Kate Upton? I mean, there was some different people out there tonight, Paul.
There were some different people there. Jeremy Piven and Kate Upton were there. And let me just say this, too, for the Jeremy Lin fans. Now, there might be some people who will come out tonight and say, see, this just shows that the team doesn't need Jeremy Lin, and they won this game, and they won the last game. But I couldn't disagree more. Jeremy Lin is very crucial to what the team is doing, totally, and certainly
in our opinion,
for the team getting to this point at all. Without Jeremy Lin, they're not in this position. Remember, when he stepped in, the team was 8-15. Now they're a game over 500. So it's critical, but it's also good to see that the young guys like Shumpert are ready to come in and make a contribution. So it's like everybody wins. Everybody wins here. So, but don't listen to this, Len's, we don't need Len and all this type of stuff that might come out tonight, because I just think that's the wrong reading of the situation. I totally agree with you.
Look, we're under Linsanity 2.0 here, okay? And Linsanity, whether it's Linsanity 1.0 or Linsanity 2.0, and in my personal opinion, Linsanity 2.0 is even more powerful and even greater. But Linsanity in general, in my personal opinion, what it means to us is, it means, wins, it means excellence, it means fun, it means hardworking, it means heart, it means all that type of stuff. And it also means inclusiveness, it means team effort. Okay, and that's what we're seeing here. We're seeing Jeremy Lin, in my personal opinion, has lifted this team to another level, has lifted the work ethic of this team to another level. And I think we're seeing that whether you're on the bench or you're one of the top stars, I think everybody understands that you have to be a winner in there. You have to be tough. You have to contribute. And you have to, when you have time and you have minutes, you have to step up and do something. And that's what we're seeing right here. We're seeing people, whether it's Novak, whether it's J.R. Smith, whether it's Melo, they're all stepping up and doing what they need to do when it comes time to get it done. And I believe that you can trace that whole line and that whole situation, in my personal opinion, at least in this season, back to one person, and that's Jeremy Lin and Linsanity, and that's what Linsanity is all about in my personal opinion. But let's look at this. This was an enormous win. No question about it. It was super huge, and by any estimation. However, it's just one game. It's one game, and now we're getting towards the end here. Look forward here, Paul, and let's look at this. How many games do we have left here? Who do the New York Knicks play next? And what kind of position are they vis-a-vis the Bucks and the playoffs and all this type of situation? I mean, we need to know where this team stands right now.
Well, as far as the Bucks go, I believe that the Knicks are 2.5 games up on them. They're certainly at least 2 games up on them in the loss column. They might be 2.5 games up. The next test for the Knicks will be against the Atlanta Hawks in Atlanta. That's this upcoming Friday night. Maybe Jeremy Lin will play, maybe not. We need to get some more information on that. I think the Knicks have around 15, 16 games left. I'm looking at their schedule right now. There's a very tough April coming up. They've got multiple games against Chicago. They've got a game against Miami. They're going to have a tough time. They've got a game at Milwaukee, at Indiana, at Orlando. They need to just get as many wins under their belt right now as they can. They got the game tonight. They definitely are capable of beating Atlanta in Atlanta. Atlanta's a very up-and-down team. They're certainly capable of beating Cleveland, which is the game after Atlanta in New York. And then, again, when we get into April, it's going to be a lot tougher. They're just going to have to scrape and claw their way to get some wins. But we're in the home stretch of the season. We're in the last quarter or so of the season, or even greater long than that. And I think the Knicks are ready. They just, hopefully, Amari is out. He's not getting surgery. He's out 2 to 4 weeks. Hopefully that'll be closer to 2 weeks. And hopefully Jeremy Lin's knee will heal up pretty soon. Hopefully Carmelo's injury won't get any worse. Hopefully guys like Bill Walker and Jared Jeffries will be able to return relatively soon. But if they could just find a way to maintain that 8th spot while resting some guys and getting some guys healthy,
get them right.
They're going to be in really good shape going into the playoffs. So I like where they're at, even though April is going to be tough for them.
April, I agree with you. I like where they're at. I think they're in a good position to make the playoffs. They're on a good streak here with Linsanity 2.0 and the Woodson era and all that type of situation. But this, in my personal opinion, is exactly why you want Jeremy Lin rested now, because you look at April and you look at some of these tough games and tough road trips, stuff like that, you need Jeremy Lin ready to go. No question about it. You need him ready to go and all that, particularly when you're talking about the Heat and all that. I mean, right now, LeBron's dinged up with his finger and all that, and I think they're feeling aware. So if you can get your stars and your starters rested and ready to go, Omari, Lin, and all that, who knows what could happen? Who knows what could happen with a game here, a game there, and I think that they're going to need every game. You got to go in there and win every game you can. So the big story here is the Knicks win. They win huge at home or against Orlando without Amari Stoudemire and without Jeremy Lin, and now they're set up for the next game, which is Atlanta. Stay tuned, because Paul will have his report video and his analysis of the game. He is the NBA expert, so you're going to want to check that out next. You're watching Conservative Media. I am John, the 4-time national champion. That is Paul. He is the NBA expert. We are Conservative Media. Please rate this video up. Also, please post it to your social networking sites. You're watching Conservative Media. Thanks for watching. We will see you next time.